What's going on, gamers? I am Merkaba18, and today we are talking about another new Series 5 card coming to Marvel Snap. Stardust is the Series 5 card coming next week. The season of Marvel Snap Galactus Herald starts very soon, and next week we are getting another card in that season. This one is Stardust. It is a, as you can see here, 4 energy, 7 power card, which is a decent balance just from power and cost benefit there. But its ongoing effect is the real star of the show here. Don't mind Byron, my English bulldog back here, just having a ball. He is the cutest. The ongoing effect is as follows: cards cannot be added to locations except by playing them or moving them. Now, there's a lot of speculation about what exactly this is going to do. We're going to dive into it. There's a lot to talk about with this one because I think this is a very, very strong card. One of the best added in a very long time, particularly as a counter to some of the current meta and as a counter to a lot of very, very strong decks out there and play styles. So the long and short of it here is, with this card and with the right playstyle, this is going to bring back control. The archetype control has been strong historically in Marvel Snap. It is kind of at a low point right now. It isn't really part of the meta, hasn't been in a little while. For good reason. A lot of the cards in that style have been really busted and have been kind of hard to counter, so they have nerfed them, and it's not as viable as it once was. But we will talk about that more in just a minute. Let me go ahead and show you the deck and the style of play that I'm going to personally be using this card in. By the way, I think, again, this is one of the best cards added to Marvel Snap in a very long time. As a counter to some of the current meta, which is the Power Surge, heavy play card, heavy power style of play. So there are a number of different ways that you can play this. I think one of the things that's special about this card is that it is going to fit into a number of sort of utility counter styles. And one of the main problems right now is with control is that it doesn't really have enough power to really like keep itself going. You have to get a little bit lucky at times. The main kind of control archetype deck right now is Storm, Legion, and War Machine. And this is going to kind of play off of that a little bit, but that specific style requires quite a bit of luck. You have to draw cards in the exact right order, be able to play them in the exact right order, and it takes a little bit of luck. But this one is going to hopefully counter some of that. We are going to be using Echo, Goose, Mr. Fantastic, because he's still, regardless of what you're playing, probably one of the best 2-card cost cards in the entire game, maybe in the history of Marvel Snap, honestly. And you're going to probably see that card get nerfed at some point, so enjoy it while you can. We've got Red Guardian, Cosmo, Mobius, Shang-Chi, War Machine, Sentry, Professor X, Alioth, and we will be using Stardust. That slots right in here as the 4 cost. You can make a case for, let's talk about, excuse me, some alternatives to this deck, to the play that we're using. You could use a Zabu here as a way of reducing the cost of your 4 cost cards here. It does bring quite a bit less power. The power got cut in half last season, and I'm not really sure that you're going to have all that many situations where you're going to need to plug that one in, and there's other cards in here that are better priority. But if you don't have some of these, Zabu is a good alternative. You could make the case for Storm here and Legion as a way to control some of the lanes, as a way to cause some problems. You can make a case for Professor X here. We do have Professor X. I take that back. You can make a case for Cosmo as a way to lock down with Professor S, especially if you get him really cheap, and then Cosmo a different lane and prevent them from being able to play it. Cosmo and Goose and Echo and Mobius are primarily here, as well as Red Guardian, primarily here in Shang-Chi as utility to counter some of the stronger cards in the game right now. They're there specifically to lower the ability of the opponent to play cards. Goose is there, obviously, to prevent any kind of problems with higher cost cards being played on a specific lane. So Goose is a really good one to kind of like lock one lane down and then hit Professor X with another one. Now, some other alternatives to this one are things like Havoc. You can make a case for Havoc because you're not going to have a really high energy need in this particular deck, but that's a way to gain some extra power at the cost of some of your energy, particularly as a way to maybe plug in alongside Mr. Fantastic since you're gaining lowered costs there anyway. Those are some of the big ones. Shadow King can also be plugged in pretty easily. There's a couple of other lesser used utility cards within this style, but I would recommend those ones as alternatives. Now, Echo is primarily, now the main weakness of, if we go back to and read the text on Stardust, it's an ongoing card. So the main weakness there is either Red Guardian, Enchantress, or Rogue. Those are the big ones. So, or a zone that prevents ongoing effects, or in some cases, Echo. So you want to make sure you're not playing it on lanes where that makes it vulnerable. Mobius, or excuse me, Cosmo and Echo are here primarily as a way to prevent people from stealing those cards and as a way to discourage them from playing cards on that lane. Then you have Mobius as a way to lower their ability to play less expensive cards, which is a direct counter to Mr. Fantastic in a lot of the meta right now. Shang-Chi is going to destroy some of your stronger cards. Same with Red Guardian. War Machine is here primarily as a way to prevent some of your cards being played where you're preventing your opponent from playing them. Alioth obviously destroys... Oh, also, alongside this, let me mention this. I just thought of another alternative for you. As I was building out this deck, a lesser used card these days that used to have quite a bit of play that might make a little bit of a comeback here with the current meta is Leech. Now, it only removes the text from 6-cost cards, but you're seeing a lot of very expensive 6-cost cards. So that is, I would, it's still weak enough that I wouldn't really recommend it, but it is an alternative. I went against it simply because it's one that only removes the text after the fact. So, for example, Hulk and Red Hulk are still going to have the power that they would have had. It's less effective. It's just not what it once was. But you can still make use of it, and it will still disrupt. And then, obviously, the big one here is Stardust, which is going to be a 4 energy, 7 power card. This is disruptive to so many things that it's really even hard to encapsulate all of them. It is going to be a counter to Captain Marvel, to cards like, if we go up here to, it is a counter to, where are you? Debris. It's a counter to one of the most popular cards in the game right now is, where are you? It will counter, it is also a counter to this as well. Let me show you. Mr. Sinister, and the other one that people are making great use of right now is, I forget off the top of my head what it's called, but it's the one that, Brood here, 3/2. Brood is very, very popular among like Silver Surfer decks, so that prevents that from adding additional cards. There is some speculation that it will prevent playing cards like, it'll prevent the use of cards like Hela, for example, like bringing cards back. There's a lot of speculation. We don't know for certain that it will do this, but it sounds like from the text and from some of the feedback that they have been getting that it prevents the use of cards like a lot of the destroy cards like Wolverine or X-23 will not move lanes anymore. As a result of this card, you can play them and gate the value of them, but they will stay in the lane that they were played on originally, which helps to make them a little bit more predictable. This is a direct hard counter to cards like Doom 2099, because you're no longer going to get free plays on that. The direct hard counter to Jubilee, because you're no longer going to get direct plays on that. It is a direct hard counter to Arnim Zola, and to Leader, and to Ezon, and to it is also a direct hard counter to Doctor Doom and cards like White Tiger. So anything basically where you're playing one card and then getting another card in a different place or a different card in the same lane, you're not going to get them anymore directly as a result of this card. So I think this is going to directly bring back control decks as a viable option. The main problem here, the strength of this is that it is going to disrupt and be problematic for a lot of very like lowered skill, for example, and I mean that term in no sense of derogatory way, but like people that are just playing meta decks because they're so strong, this is going to be there's going to be counters to this as a way to help you prevent them from taking full advantage of high powered metas. Now, the main weakness here is obviously that there isn't a ton of power to go around here. So you're going to have to use a lot of skill plays here and place your cards in the right place in order to fully take advantage of this style of deck. I mean, you can theoretically win a lane with 2 power. You could theoretically win a lane with no power. In some of these cases, you could also, if you are, if you're careful enough, you could win with just 1 card, or even 2. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of this deck. Do you think control is back, as I do? Or do you think we're going to continue to see the high-powered Surge card meta be a part of the meta for the next couple of months? I appreciate you watching. Make sure to hit the sub button on the way out and check out the live streams where we play Marvel Snap all of the time. Thank you again for watching. See you again next time.